Hello, everybody, it's Tim here again. Another movie review. This time for something a little bit off the beating path, or the beaten path, I should say, not the beating. But I figured I'd do a review for the Haunted Mansion, actually, the new Disney adaptation that I actually just recently got to watch tonight. Now, I believe this bombed in theaters, and it was pretty much over budgeted, way too high of a budget. As far as the film goes, it got like mixed to negative reviews, not terrible reviews, but like mixed to negative, which means most critics thought at best it was okay. If you go on IMDb, it has like a 6.1, which is close to a fair score for a movie like this. The original Haunted Mansion by Eddie Murphy, I'm not sure what that did back in the day in theaters. I know it's considered a bad film, both critically and by most audiences, except for like people who grew up with it and have an attachment to it. When I was a kid, I didn't like that film. I never hated it. I thought it was just kind of meh. It was like, I'd give it like a low 2 stars if I was rating it out of 4. It'd be like a passable one-off watch, like meh. But I never thought it was a good movie, even as a kid. Watching this one here today, I liked it. For what it is, I liked it. It's not a great movie at points. It does range into good territory, but overall, it has a crucial sin that keeps it from being good, which is the fact it's just way too long. And if you read most of the reviews on IMDb from audience members, that's pretty much the common complaint. And it's true. This movie is just way too long for such a simple story, and it feels really stretched out to try to get it to like blockbuster territory in terms of length. The cast all does a great job. The black actor or whatever who plays the lead in here, he does a good job. Danny DeVito, he's good in the movie. When he gets possessed at one point, he's probably a little bit too over the top, but overall he's good. I believe Tiffany Haddish plays like the psychic in the movie. She does a good job. Jared Leto does a really good job as the villain, who you really comes into the plot by the end, third act of the movie. I mean, when you get to see him more in his ghostly CGI flesh or whatever. Um, and Owen Wilson does a great job in this. He was my favorite part of the movie. Yeah, overall, all the acting is good in this. Rosario Dawson is does a good job as well, but she's just kind of there as the mom slash somewhat love interest for the main guy because his wife is dead and he's having trouble like letting go and all that. And by the end, that's kind of his arc, that he learns to accept the fact that she's gone and everything. You know where this is going. That's another thing, is the story is rote and it doesn't justify the length of the movie. But Owen Wilson kept me laughing, and I enjoyed the special effects of the movie. That's good special effects. It's what you would expect from a standard Disney blockbuster of this size. But like I said, the plot is about this mansion is haunted. Rosario Dawson moves in there with her kid. They're hoping to start like a bed and breakfast or something out of it. And it's haunted, and they bring in the main guy who's like there as like a paranormal researcher or whatever, who's like photographing everything. But anybody who comes in there and then leaves, the ghosts like follow them, and so they're trying to get like people together so they can get a posse together to try to figure out what's going on, to get rid of the ghosts and stop what's happening, so they can be free of them. Rosario Dawson is trying to protect her son. And you got Owen Wilson there who teams up, and he gets some pretty funny lines or whatever. And he's supposed to be a priest, but later on you find out in the movie he's not actually a priest, which it was pretty funny. But he's like dressed up as a priest, and he's talking to the main dude, and he's like, she's offering to pay you like so many thousands of dollars if you do this. And he's like, come on, no, you like money. I like money too, but don't tell the big guy. That was pretty funny. Owen Wilson has some charming lines in this. He's humorous here and likable. He is my favorite part of the movie. And like I said, yeah, Jared Leto, when you hear his voice and stuff for the some of the movie, it's a bit underused, but when he comes into his own by the third act, you see much more of him. It's well done in terms of the look of the creature and everything, the Hatbox Ghost and everything. And his voice work is really good here. He does a great performance in terms of acting. It's a good villain. Um, yeah, the movie it's just too long for such a simple story. That's just the biggest problem with it. It's pretty much Danny DeVito shows up there as well, and they all team up together to try to get rid of the ghost that's in the house. And they're doing research on it, and you find out the Hatbox Ghost or whatever was this dude named Crump or whatever, or Grump, maybe Crump or Grump, I can't remember. But it was this dude or whatever who was like crazy and was like killing people and everything. And even now as a ghost, he has to collect like 1,000 souls or something like that in order, and he needs one final soul that has to be given freely, and he wants to take the main dude who's trying to get him to like volunteer his life freely so he can go be with his wife in the afterlife or whatever. And of course he goes through an arc where he learns he can be happy or whatever because he attached himself to Rosario Dawson's kid and her and all that, and they kind of hint at a little bit of a romance by the end. But it's well acted, and like I said, the special effects are good and on par for what you'd expect from a Disney blockbuster. Very simple plot. Throughout the movie you get some fun special effects and everything, like when the dude like leaves his body through astral projection, the main guy, and he's like walking around the mansion and everything, and the rooms are like twisting upside down and everything, kind of similar to something like Doctor Strange or whatever. And he's like running through them, and he's getting chased by Jared Leto's character and everything. Good special effects, like I said, and some fun standard blockbuster moments. Overall, because of the charmingness of the cast and the acting and Owen Wilson in this movie, I'd give this easily a 2.5 out of 4 as a decent time waster movie. I like it. I like the film as a decent time waster. I could ease. It's because it's over long though. This wouldn't be something I'd watch on repeat, but I could put this on in like a month or two or something and watch it in like the background or whatever and have a decent time with it because of just the fun of the cast. Yeah, overall decent film. But yeah, I'm not. Some of the reviews are like extremely harsh. This film, like, I'm not sure what some people were expecting from this. It's based off a freaking Disney ride. Like the only really successful one they've had based off a ride has been Pirates of the Caribbean, really, I think. And that was pretty much just a fluke. In terms of this one right here, it's based off the Haunted Mansion ride. And now, first off, there's not a lot of plot when it comes to like a theme park ride, so they got to add a lot of stuff, and they got to, of course, try to stretch it out to blockbuster Atlantis, which is this film is extremely guilty of. But yeah, I'm not sure what a lot of people were expecting off of a movie based off a theme park ride. And truly, if you judge it as just like an adaptation of a theme park, of a movie, like adaptation of a theme park, then really it'd probably be like a 3 out of 4. It would be a good adaptation of a theme park ride because there's not really a story there at all. So you got to kind of work with what you got. And for that, it is a good effort. But as just an actual movie, just watching it as a movie, because of the charming of the cast, the cast charms and the special effects and everything, just kind of the light, fun moments of the film. Overall, it'd be 2.5 decent time killer movie that I liked. I would pick this up on DVD or Blu-ray if I found it for like $10 or $5. It's perfectly harmless. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.